All right, well, I'm going to show you how you can get started with your Choose Your Own Adventure. First thing you'll notice is that we're at cs4lv.stab.org, and you'll click on 6th grade Choose Your Own Adventure. And remember, we have story parameters. This is going to be rated G because it's for lower school students. You need to create your storyboard first, and then write your text and get it reviewed. The story must be written in Spanish, and you want to use as much vocabulary as you can. When you're ready to code, then you're going to go into Twine. So click this link, and yours will probably actually be blank. So you're going to click this plus story to get started, and then give it a name that makes sense for you. And then you just get started here. So again, you want to, the title of your passage is sort of think of it as the titles as subtitles, although the first one is the title of your story. So if I titled my story Save the Prince, and then I'd want to have a paragraph or some sentences introducing my story here. And then you're giving the reader the choice of things they need to do. Now, one thing you can do is, instead of having to do this from scratch, you could actually come over and copy this code and paste it in. And if we exit out and I play it, you'll see that I've got my character, I've got these choices, but now you can edit those choices, right? You don't have to use the one. And you'll notice also that it went ahead and created my next level of the story. The way this happens is the brackets here indicate that that is a choice. So if you want a choice to show up, you have to have those double brackets. This is where I can get my image. So if you wanted to go find another image, you can do that. So let's say I want to go find a butterfly. I'm going to go to images, and remember we said we wanted, we're going to be using first search tools, usage right labeled for reuse, then type, clip art, and then finally we want transparent background. So that looks good on our background. So these are the image choices I have. So I can choose one. We don't want to go with Pixabay images, I think I said, because they have some issues later on. Let's try this one. Then I'm going to copy this URL here, go back into my story, and then I'm just going to highlight everything inside the double quotes, but not including the double quotes, and I'm just going to Command V to replace that. I'm also going to go ahead and change my story to Save the Butterfly, and maybe one choice could be fly to the flower, or fly to the pond. And you'll notice that my story has changed here. I've now got my butterfly. Look, I had my credit. I'm going to need to change that. Ooh, I spelled pond wrong too. So let's see where I got this image from. If I go to View Page, I can see that this comes from Good Free Photos. So I'm going to go back into my credits and say Good Free Photos and change that so it's correct. And if I want to, you see I still have my old choices, which I can, they're now not connected to anything. And I can delete those. I don't need those anymore because they're not connected. So anytime if you make that kind of mistake, so let's get down here, delete, yes, delete, and delete. And you want to have 3 levels to your story. But let's say this was your ending level, and at this point maybe you had a failure and need to restart the story. Then you're going to want to give it the name Save the Butterfly. So that's how you get back up to the top. Okay, now when I test this story, If I do fly to the pond, I had some sort of failure, I need to start the story again, and that's how you get the story restarted. So that's basically the mechanics of how this works, and you can keep adding levels on down by just clicking and editing, and then adding more things in the brackets. And anytime you do that, oops, too many brackets, it'll keep adding onto the tree for you. So that's the next thing you accomplish. And then once you have a working story, then you can add more images. You can also adjust color and font. So let's say you want to work with colors especially. We're just going to copy and paste this style sheet code, go back to our story, and under story, the name of the story, you can do edit story style sheet. And then I can put this in here. And you'll see that my color is light blue, and my font size is 18. And this is actually using a Google font as well, which I will show you how to do in a different video. But if I go back and play it, I should have a light blue background now. Now, and you see my text I think is a little smaller. Finally, if you want to really adjust colors, there's this color picker that lets you very fine tune what color you want to be as your background. So if I wanted, say, this color, I want to copy this, what's called a hex code up here. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to my style sheet, and I'm going to get rid of light blue. Here's the thing though, you have to put this hashtag in front of it. If you don't put the hashtag, it's not going to work, but you have to have hashtag and then that hex number. So now when I play it again, oops, that's the old one, I have to exit out. Now it's that color I just chose with color picker. So those are the different things you can play around with once you get all the mechanics of your story working. And of course, you're going to be writing your story in Spanish, not in English like I have. All right, good luck.